Hey there, everybody. This is Spooky from ArmoredTalk.com, your website bringing you all of your armored warfare news and information. Today we are in a Tier 2 American main battle tank, the M48 Patton. This is one of the new vehicles that's coming to the 4th early access test in Armored Warfare, and I've had a couple of people request a gameplay video of it. I've had a hard time getting gameplay video of this particular tank. On the public test server on the North American server that was launched not too long ago, server populations are fairly low at the moment. I think they're down in the, between 100 and 200 players. This could be due to the sudden announcement and people just were not expecting it, so didn't plan accordingly to be able to play on it. But looking back, even the Russian public test server had fairly low server populations compared to the regular Russian server. So this could be the nature of the public test servers. So I went back to try to find gameplay video of the M48 Patton on the Russian side, which this is one of those, and I now recall that I also had a hard time getting footage of the lower tier tanks there, simply because all the players were rushing up the tier lines. Which there's nothing wrong with that, it just makes it a little bit harder to get gameplay video. So getting back to the M48 Patton, I'm sure you've noticed that the gun depression, I think it's a -9 gun depression, is pretty decent for this tank. You're able to poke over hills and take shots, or coming up here, I'm able to go ahead and take care of this enemy vehicle without having to expose myself too much. Gun depression does come into play on quite a few maps in Armored Warfare, simply because the maps are definitely not flat. Overall, for a Tier 2, I think the M48 Patton does just fine. This was actually during the time I was trying to load on the new player versus environment maps just to get the new Phalanx and Operation Wildfire, which I have videos on those. Well, let's go ahead and get this guy. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and just run into there. I am in a main battle tank, so we might as well make use of that and do a little bit of ramming there. The Patton being a main battle tank, all main battle tanks supposed to be the heavier armored vehicles in Armored Warfare. They've changed it so if you keep your front pointed towards the enemy, you can do okay. So we're going to go ahead and you're going to notice that it does have a fairly decent aim time. I'm able to let that aiming circle tighten up, so I'm able to do a little bit of a closer aim shot on that enemy. And the reload is a little bit faster than the T-54, so you can see how I took care of how that can come into play when you have the opportunity to be shooting at multiple targets like I have here. In comparison to the T-54, the M48 Patton does not have quite as strong of armor and does not hit quite as hard. But the trade-offs that it gets is, of course, the faster aim time, a little bit more accurate, and it has a higher hit point pool, along with a little bit faster reload time. My teammate, we already have one down, and I know that this BMP, I think that's BMP down on the south, is going to be a problem. Yeah, there he goes, he hits me. I was just so afraid that we're going to continue to lose teammates because we lost another one there, and that the tanks up at G7 were going to be a problem. I really wanted to keep going south after that BMD or P, whichever one it is down there. But I couldn't just do that and leave my teammates alone and also leave my flank exposed. So I had to come back up here to take care of these guys first, just because that's where most of the lights were. And that is one thing that I think is important, actually in both PvE and PvP, but especially in player versus environment mode when there's only 4 or 5 of you. You typically do need to work together as a team. Now I know that M48 Patton, who's just now coming to join the battle, wasn't with us. Hopefully he had a lot of shots back there. That or he could just load it late, I'm not sure. Oftentimes, though, it is best in the PvE maps to go as a blob or have a blob of tanks with 1 or 2 off to the side, just so that you are focusing and staying together. That's true in PvP as well. It just is harder to get coordination when you're in with 14 other tanks. I think in PvE, you can use the chat or pings of the map and get a lot of cooperation. I'm not able to do that on the Russian server too much, since it's a little bit too fast for me to go ahead and figure out what the Russian means. The chat is in your native language. You should be able to type back and forth and coordinate with your teammates. I'm not too sure that I actually have the highest hit point pool left on our team, but looks like I'm going to go ahead and continue to lead the charge down here anyway. Normally, that's the other thing you want to do is share hit points. Like if you're doing a tournament or playing with teammates on like a TeamSpeak server. Somebody gets more damage, they fall back, and somebody that has higher health can take the lead and move forward. Kind of hard to coordinate that necessarily on public random games, although you can still try to remember to do that yourself. Watching this back now, I may not have wanted to jump onto the cap circle right this second, because that activates a lot more of the enemy tanks. We are going against what I just said. We are kind of strung out here quite a bit, and my jumping on here activated a bunch of red enemies. If you notice, I tried to rotate so that my front end was towards the tank coming from my flank, and I'm able to move out of the cap circle. I thought getting out of line of fire. I just ended up finding more enemies. You're getting a good look at the M48 Patton, just how fast it's able to maneuver and turn the rotation of the turret. And I'm still trying just to run to cover here because I'm facing more tanks than I really wanted to be at this moment. And my front just blocked one shell and caused that next one to do a little bit less damage, since I'm pretty sure it was HE that's being fired at me. And although I'm extremely low health after my poor move on getting onto the cap, hopefully we end up doing okay here. Again, I'm backing up under cover. I'm a little bit hold down position with the truck and the cement in front of me there. So that the only thing they were able to shoot would have been my turret. And I'm able to back up and come forward once I'm more aimed in and ready to fire. And because of the quicker aim time, it does do decent, it being the M48 Patton, compared to like what the T54 would have been doing. It's not like the T54 couldn't have done a lot of this. It's just that at times the Patton's reload works out well. So there are 3 of us left, all 3 in M48 Pattons. 2 of us are one shot for the enemy. Oh, here, if I remember, yeah, you can see how the aiming circle can tighten and you can still move and it doesn't bloom out too badly. That you can pick your time when you shoot, hopefully better than what I just did there. I think at the time I didn't realize that was cover and not just concealment, though it was heat, so it was not going to go through an object that was between myself and my target and then still do damage. Yes, I am firing heat right now simply because I am out of AP. I probably need to reevaluate how much of each ammo I'm taking into these games. So I think that is it. I think that's the end of the game, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how the M48 Patton moves and aims and shoots. I think it and the T54 are both good additions to the game, having some more tanks at the lower tiers. Giving players the opportunity to play different classes is a good move. The game's only launching with 2 arms dealers when it gets to open beta access, but I'm sure that there will be more dealers added as time goes on. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want more information, check us out at armoredtalk.com, your blog for all your Armored Warfare news and information. Give the video a thumbs up below. It really helps the channel. If you have any requests, let me know. Otherwise, have a good day or good night wherever you are.